Hello, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I wanted to share some tips I have for decluttering at home in case you are stuck at home right now with the stay home policy that is currently going on. These tips can apply to any time, but I came up with quite a few ideas just in case you have nothing to do and you are wanting to declutter and get your home organized. The first tip I have is I personally do not recommend using this time to KonMari your house and pull everything out unless you have a ton of patience and your family is really good with a lot of chaos. I just think now with everybody home, at least in our house, I like to pick and choose small little areas to declutter or organize and just go very slow. And I feel when I have done a KonMari type declutter in the past where I pulled everything out, I became extremely overwhelmed. And with everybody being home, if you pull everything out and then somehow become sidetracked with something else you have to do, you might have a giant mess on your hands that is just overwhelming that you're not going to want to spend the time to put back, or you may not have the time. So I personally just recommend going to one area, one cupboard, one drawer at a time, going through and seeing what you can declutter out of those areas. Now that we're at home more, we are making every meal at home. We rarely go out, and that's kind of how we live normally, but I know for a lot of people, they go out, and now you'll have the time to analyze your kitchen. So what I would do is, as you're making meals, just really pay attention to any of the utensils that you are never using or the appliances that you seem to never use. And what I would do is just start a pile in your garage or a closet. Is to get a bin or a basket or a trash bag, whatever you have, and I would just put the items that you notice you're not using into that area, into that bin, and set it aside, because I doubt that any donation places are taking anything right now. I know where we live, everything is closed down. So I would just set it aside, and this is actually a great tactic to know if you're going to need this item in the future, is just put it aside. If you notice that you need the item, you can go and get it, or see if you can do without the item. If you realize you haven't needed it this whole time that you've been at home cooking in your kitchen, you know you are safe to donate that when everything reopens. This is the best time to declutter your closet, because I know I have tons of time here at home, and I'm gonna be switching from my winter to my spring wardrobe any minute now, because the weather is starting to change here in California. It's been really cold, which is not our norm, but we are starting to have warmer days. So I'm going to go and try on everything. Normally, I just don't have the time to be trying on every single thing in my closet, but now that I'm stuck home, I have the extra time. So what I plan to do is try on all my clothes, see what's fitting, see what is ill-fitting or something that I don't like anymore, and then donate those items that either don't fit or don't tend to go with anything else in my wardrobe. My kids are both home, and normally my older son goes to kindergarten and my younger son goes to preschool, but guess what? We are now homeschooling, and this has given me a really good opportunity to analyze what toys they are loving and what toys they are never using. And I have not done any decluttering yet because we've already decluttered our whole house. I can link the video below of us decluttering everything, but I have just been paying attention, and I know there's quite a few items that have been cast aside that they are not playing with. So what I am going to do is, as this time progresses, I will probably pull out some of those items that aren't being used, put them into the closet or the garage, the holding area, see if they notice or see if they want those items, and then we can just go get them. But if not, then I will donate those items. And honestly, that's always a good practice, because kids are constantly growing and going into new stages, and I find sometimes I just forget to get rid of all the baby toys. I found one the other day, and Calvin had completely grown out of this baby toy, and it was just sitting there. So it's always good just to analyze that, because kids are always changing. And as a side note, Even though we are stuck at home, I know a lot of people would think the more toys you have, the better. I am so thankful that we decluttered all the toys when we did and became more minimal, because the stuff that is coming out sometimes is not being put away right away, and it's causing a little bit more chaos than usual. And I don't mind it because I want them to be happy, I want them to be entertained, but at the same time, if we had the amount of toys we had before, that would not be working for me. So I'm actually very thankful that we did the decluttering that we did when we did it. If you're going to be organizing or decluttering your garage while staying home, I think it's a great idea to set a little area aside where you have a box or a bin, like I mentioned before, to put all the things that need to be donated in that area. Because again, I don't think there's going to be a place to take everything. But a lot of people, I know us included, tend to put items in our garage that are actually trash. And for instance, we had this rug that was in a really bad shape. It was an indoor-outdoor rug that we had used outside, covered in dirt and mud. It could not be cleaned, and it was sort of a recycled product when we bought it. Anyways, long story short, go through your garage and just see what is trash and what can be thrown away, and then set everything that needs to be donated into a specific area and just cordon that area off so no one goes in there and grabs it out. We're going to spend the rest of our time streamlining our garage and getting it organized, and also analyzing what projects we have set in the garage to be done at a future time, because now is that time. We have so much time on our hands. My husband is not working now because of this quarantine, and I had bought some lights a few months back, so I want him to install those outside and get those projects done. So make a list and just write down all your projects that need to be done and then tick them off, and that's a great way to stay motivated during this quiet time. As far as our bedroom goes, I like to keep that as a very calm area. That could be a hideaway place for the moms out there or dads that are a little bit stressed out with everybody home. And I would just recommend figuring out what exactly you use in your bedroom and what you need in there, and then declutter everything else or find a different home for those items. I feel sometimes we can get a little carried away with decor items or extra chairs or things in our bedrooms that aren't necessarily needed. So when we started decluttering, I got rid of all of that extra stuff that was in our bedroom, and I just keep that as almost a sanctuary where I can just read and relax and have some quiet time. My tip for decluttering the bathroom is going to be a little bit different than normal. Decluttering the bathrooms is such an easy place to start because usually there's a whole bunch of stuff there that you don't need. And normally I would recommend just going in the bathroom and getting rid of everything that you normally never use, or things that you bought that you just don't feel is right for you, and just really streamline your bathroom. Now, with where we're at right now, as far as products go, it is kind of hard to shop unless you're doing all of your shopping online. And again, I don't know how well stocked everything is going to be in the stores. I personally am doing this very slowly, and I'm also going to be keeping things that maybe normally I would just declutter without a second thought. So maybe backup deodorant that you didn't really love, maybe just keep that, because who knows, maybe you can use that up if you needed it in a pinch. So my decluttering advice for the bathroom is a little bit different than normal, but not really. It's mostly just slowing down and analyzing if you can actually use the product. If this is your first time decluttering because you're now stuck home and you're looking for something to do, my biggest recommendation is just to go slow, do one area at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. Because let's be honest, between all the news and our kids being home and not possibly having a job now, it is a little bit more stressful than it used to be. And I know decluttering can actually be stressful as well. So take your time and be easy on yourself, and make sure that you make that designated area for the decluttered items. And also make sure everyone knows not to go into those items, because I know kids have a way of pulling out old toys and all of a sudden playing with them even though they haven't touched them in over a year. So let me know in the comments below if you are decluttering and organizing your home while you're stuck home. And I hope you're all safe and well, and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Subscribe for more videos, and you can check out our vlog channel to see what we're getting up to during this quarantine.